my name is Carly Devine, formerly known as Carly Devine, only not spelled the same. I've changed the spelling because I have healed a lot of myself, and I have now decided to change my name slightly so that I can begin anew and break the chain of all the crap I've been through, basically. So it used to be CARLYDEVINE, now it is KAALIDIVINE, I think. So I'm a survivor of extreme abuse. You can call it satanic ritual abuse. You can call it whatever you want, like really. Witchcraft, hocus pocus. And also like child abuse, blah blah blah, all in the mix. There's a lot of different things in the mix of this. So I have been experiencing this from a very young age, and also have experienced it in adulthood as well. Some people believe that this is real and some people don't, and that's up to you. That's not a problem. I'm just telling you like what has happened to me, and not even going to go into it deeply because I'm more about the healing aspect of this as opposed to going into my past and everything that's happened. At some point I probably will, but yeah, so basically this video is just to explain. It's like I have been on my healing journey for a very long time, a few years, good few years now, and I mean like every day doing something to help heal. I was labelled with a lot of different mental health labels, which I've actually managed to heal quite a lot. I'm just on the last little bit that's going to be cleared up very soon. And I've also managed to come away from a lot of highly addictive things. So, and the last little thing that I've got to do now is sugar. It seems to be like the biggest one, apparently, harder than any of the other stuff that I've quit. So I was like addicted to like nearly all drugs, and I was addicted to, well, I drank a lot. I wasn't necessarily addicted, but it went hand in hand with the drugs. And then I was a proper party animal too, and yeah, just been in a lot of really toxic relationships, and been in a lot of like difficult situations, in a lot of nasty situations that have not been nice at all, and managed to take like the lessons, blessings and teachings from them to be able to kind of like address why any of this ever happened anyway. And basically, if you got stuff going on within your inner world that you have not healed, the universe will just keep showing you that until you address it, basically. So yeah, so through healing myself, I then became a healer, and I did my Reiki levels, and I also then started to learn mediumship, and I then, like, my psychic abilities came into. My mediumship is going to come back in full flow once I clear this blockage in my heart. But at the moment, I'm just kind of like working psychically. I still see spirit and that, but I am not a working medium at this moment in time. But very soon it'll be back. Yeah, so I also sing frequencies and tones that some people call light language in healings, and I work with singing bowls. But recently I've just been really focusing on healing myself too. I got given labels that were like deemed unhealable, like absolutely unhealable, and I got drugged up to the max, with medicines, Western medicines as well, which I also managed to come away from and went on to a more natural path on all levels. Yeah, I got to the point where I was like really kind of aligned and sorted, which what I thought, but then there was something deep within me that I hadn't quite healed. And if there's something that you haven't addressed, healing comes round in circles. So it's like you may think you've healed everything, and then whoop, it comes back, and there's a deeper level of whatever you thought you'd healed, ready to come back up to be healed again and seen on a deeper level, or something that you may have missed. So yeah, so I kind of like, I got to a really good space, and then I kind of fell back again, and then I've had to pull myself back up, which has been the hardest thing, especially when you think you've done it. And yeah, so here I am now, and I just felt really cool to explain or like mention this that I'd been through, just to give some hope to those people that have been through some really, really deep and dark, nasty stuff, that there is like light at the end of the tunnel if you choose to work on yourself, and if you choose to do the work. You know, we're all naturally meant to be aligned and naturally meant to be in quite a healed space. So yeah, especially like I never believed in like any of this stuff at all. I did not believe in crystals. I did not believe in the spiritual path. I was not interested in any of this, and it took me having a complete mental breakdown, midlife crisis, but not quite mid, a bit earlier than that, and complete like plummeting to fall into what was kind of a spiritual awakening. If I had gone to if I'd gone to a shaman, it would have been a spiritual awakening. But I went to like Western doctors, and I got deemed with all these labels, which fit as well, like, so that it helped to heal because I understood. But I didn't get given the option of like meditation or like other options or natural ways, so I had to experience that. And I chose to do meditation, and I chose to choose more natural ways in the end as well, because I started to get really unwell on the tablets at that time. And I'm not recommending anyone to just come off of tablets either, by the way. This is my path, what I did, and each to their own. And some people need tablets and some people don't, and some people choose them, some people don't. Some people want to come off them, and you need to kind of make sure that you're in a really good space and in the right place to even consider doing anything like that, with help, guidance and advice as well. So don't just come off of stuff. I had to trial and error a lot of different ways to be able to get off of different things, and I had to get help, and I had to research as well. So yeah, you got to make sure that you're sensible with this kind of thing. So through having such a traumatic childhood and traumatic events throughout my life, I then had a huge breakdown crisis, and through that I then felt very, very suicidal quite a few times. And a therapist said to me about mention somebody, how would they feel if I did actually commit suicide. And it made me have to stay, basically. So then I had to stay, and if I had to stay, I couldn't live the way that I was living, and I couldn't handle myself the way that I was. So in that moment I chose to heal, and I didn't even know it could be done, especially being told that what I had is unhealable, blah blah blah. So I had to use my intuition and just really kind of link in with my own body as to what I needed. So when you do this kind of thing, you want to empower yourself so you know what you're doing, as opposed to listening to outside sources. Like, guidance is really good, and people helping is really good, but ultimately your soul knows the right path that you need to do. And so yeah, so with that, through that, going into the darkest places and having to go through severe like awakening and severe mental health in that time, I then managed to get into a much better space, and through meditation I then managed to find spirit. And I know it sounds really cliche, but it's what happened. Oh, I didn't believe that could happen. I was meditating a lot, and then all of a sudden my nan started to come through, and then all of a sudden like I could see like these beings and stuff, and like it was all a bit far out there, just started with a Reiki circle, you know, energy healing, which I didn't even believe in before that either. And then, yeah, and through that, I just managed to deepen that. And then I got really interested in it. And then I ended up going to circles and healings and stuff. And then it just kind of unfolded. So I'm like from a council estate, going down the pub kind of girl, like going out partying, drinking, drugs, like just party animal, couldn't give a fuck, suicide mission, to then finding completely another path in life. So, you know, anything can happen. Yeah, so I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but I just kept bothering me that I needed to kind of mention this. And it's like all the abuse that I've been through, all the trauma that I've experienced, like the near death experiences I've had, the physical pain, like it's all, for me, I've managed to be able to heal a lot of it. It's still ongoing, but yeah, just to explain that you can like come from a place where it's like absolutely no hope, to finding yourself again and finding your soul and finding your path. And yeah, so I suppose that's kind of what I wanted to say, really. I just wanted to explain that, like, I've been through like really severe stuff, like unforgivable, extreme, nasty things that I have not even completely fully remembered yet, because when you go through such trauma, you kind of go into a state of amnesia, and then there's also different nasty things attached to the satanic ritual abuse that makes you forget as well. And I'm just awakening more and more to what has happened to me, and I'm on like the last like few years of like remembering how bad it has been. But once you connect with spirit and source, and once you're connected with your own soul again, you can then get a higher perspective as to what has happened and why, and you can get a deeper understanding. And when you get to a point of like that deep understanding, you can come to a space of acceptance to what has happened, and possibly at some point some sort of forgiveness, because the forgiveness that you have isn't actually for anyone else other than yourself. If you do not forgive what people have done to you or what has happened to you, you stay in a state of like victimhood, where it's like, I had this done to me, I had that done to me, and you're not able to let it go. But also it's like, and I'm not saying that this is quick and easy either. Like, this could take a long time, and you may not feel like you can ever get there. But, you know, little step by little step, like the things that have happened to me are just absolutely deemed as unforgivable. And I've been working on it. But once you let the anger come up in a healthy way, like supported, and then work through it bit by bit, and like I said, get that higher perspective, you can come to some sort of peace within. And then when you're able to get to some sort of forgiveness, hopefully, then you are able to free yourself from all the negative emotions like rage, anger, resentment, like because it carries on, and it's only actually harming you after the damage has been done. And then that's carrying on, that lower vibrational energies that stay in your body ultimately only hurt you and carry on, project it out in the world, and it ends up you making your life living in that moment. But I am not saying that like it's easy to get to the place of forgiveness. I am still working on like a fair few things, but the things I have managed to finally forgive, like, yeah, I feel relief. But then there's like another layer where another layer, and then it may come up again, and then that's what I mean. So it takes time, and it takes healthy boundaries as well, and possibly separating yourself from anything that's toxic, to be able to like heal it, and to be able to kind of go there without being pulled back into any kind of trauma drama, basically. So yeah, I'm still massively work in progress on it. I've got the last few bits to go, which are really deep, and painful. And for me, it's kind of like I ended up going suppressed as opposed to forgiving. So it's just kind of like numb suppression, as opposed to actually living and like forgiving and living. I went numb and suppressed. But yeah, I'm working on it. So yeah, it's all like a work in progress. And yeah, I just wanted to explain that a bit. So on this channel, yeah, as and when I am able to, I will explain some of the things that I did to help to heal myself and the situations, um, and to be able to get into a better space too. But you know, I'm still work in progress on it. I just wanted to explain that there are definitely ways to start to heal yourself and to start to align back to who you truly are, without all of the trauma, without all of the nasty stuff that can be attached to like things we have been through, or maybe still going through as well. And if you are going through something, and I hope you do find your way with that. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's enough rambling for this video. Gone a bit monotone because I am currently healing something very, very painful, so I am feeling a little bit flat at the moment, but really wanted to get that message out. And as and when I can, I will share with you some more content. And yeah, sending lots of love. Mwah.